going. All righty, you are looking live. It's all out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. They really do. They just suck. No explanation. The Washington Commanders just they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Going to try to go about 30 minutes, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free to fire away, throw in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box, maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. But plus also, seriously, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you're subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge, right? What do you got to lose? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Maybe give this video a thumbs up or maybe share it. That'd be freaking awesome. And then finally, also, a little ways down in the description box, just a little ways down, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The other link just below it, I'm an old-time fart. I hate change, right? I hate change. Get off my lawn! I'm one of them old-time farts, right? The link underneath the Facebook link, it's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 3 trillion years from now when I'm long gone, it'll be Twitter. It's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I'm not calling it that. I'm calling it Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's a promise, absolute promise. I put Giants-related information in my Twitter account every day. And then the link just above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. We have over 7,900 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but if you join and become a member, members post stuff in this group as well. So between me and the members, there's a boatload. There's a ton. There's an awful lot of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Well, the tag, it's come and it's gone. No tag for you and no tag for you and no tag for you get an airplane and you get an airplane and you get an airplane and you get an airplane, as Oprah Winfrey would say. Well, no tags for nobody. Well, there were some tags. A few tags were sent out. Let's see here. What do we got? Josh Allen got tagged. Can't argue with that one. Let's see what. Yeah, 17.5 sacks last season, 33 quarterback hits. Yeah. Yep. No problem. No argument with that one. Brian Burns from the Panthers. Let's see. Kyle Duggar, safety from the Patriots. So there was a he had what? Let's see. He's 27. So I guess they want him sticking around, but they used the transition tag, okay, on him. So basically, that was kind of one of the stories, kind of possibly maybe going around about Xavier McKinney. Of course, you got to take all this stuff with a grain of salt. But possibly, maybe the transition tag was going to get put on Xavier. It's cheaper, right? Where he can go out, see what he can, see what he can get, see what he might get on the open market, and see if the team would want to, match that. So now Kyle Duggar. Now I think that the transition tag, I think it was for a safety, was like a little over $13 million. So, I mean, I guess the Giants didn't want to go that path with Xavier McKinney, but apparently the Patriots want to keep their safety around. T. Higgins, kind of hard to argue with him. He did well, of course. With Burrow being injured, he had Higgins battled through his own injuries as well during the 2023 season and recorded only 42 catches for 656 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's set to earn $21.8 million, baby, in 2024. They put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. Jalen Johnson, the defensive back from the Bears, they put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. Madubuike, I believe it is, defensive tackle from the Ravens. They got the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. Michael Pittman of the Colts, they put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. That's worth $21.8 million for him. Let's see. It says for him, it says both sides will continue to discuss a long-term deal. Snead, the cornerback from the Chiefs, who had a very good Super Bowl, they put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. So that's $19.8 million. Let's see here. Rappaport reported in February that the Chiefs had granted Snead permission to seek a trade. So, Antoine Winfield Jr., the Bucs safety, they slapped the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. So that's $17.1 million. Okay, so I guess that's what it obviously would have cost the Giants if they put the non-exclusive franchise tag on Xavier McKinney. But then, of course, down here at the bottom, we have 3 guys that were not tagged, and 2 of them happen to be Giants. Of course, one's Saquon, the other one's McKinney, and the other one is Christian Wilkins, the defensive tackle from the Dolphins. It says Wilkins was not franchise tag and is set to hit free agency. So, well, we'll have to wait and see. It certainly doesn't mean, once again, that obviously, is it seeming like there's no way humanly possible that the Giants will get Barkley back or Xavier McKinney back? No, I mean, there's still a chance, but Shane was talking about, that's one of the tools he has at his disposal. It is what it is. I mean, instead of just letting the guys just hit free agency or whatever, it's one of the tools that the teams have. The transition tag, regular tag, but he just decided not to use it. But he did mention, possibly using it, but did not come to fruition. Now, once again, because sometimes, or it's always going to be, right? Always going to be. There's never a time, there's probably never, ever, ever, ever been a time, where the player goes, especially a star player, right? Who's ready to hit free agency. The star player, probably never, maybe one, hardly probably ever, where star players getting ready to hit free agency, and the star player in his mind says, I think I'm worth about $10 million. But the team's like, well, no, you're worth $15 million. It's the exact opposite. Usually, right, the star player in his mind, I'm worth $85 million a year. And the team, no, you're only worth $3 million a year. And then they got to try to meet somewhere in the middle. Right. So, but of course, as always, the players, obviously want to get as much as they can, and this is where obviously, for the most part, you can't say loyalty. You really can't say loyalty. I mean, the teams can be loyal to their players as well too, right? I mean, it's not a one-way street. It goes both ways, right? You can see the players' loyalty to the team, but the team's also loyalty to the players as well too. But this is usually where the rubber hits the road, and the guys want to go out and obviously get a nice little payday. Especially Xavier McKinney. Obviously. I mean, I said I haven't heard one thing. Not that I'm scouring the news articles 24/7, 365, but what I've seen and heard and all, I haven't heard Xavier say one thing at all about the Giants. Basically, show me the money. Show me the money. That's why I'm appreciated. That's basically all I'm hearing from him. So it's basically for him, it's all about the money, right? It's Saquon. This is probably his last chance about getting any type of a big deal, because this is going to be 7th season, right? Say he signs a 3-year deal. I don't know who's going to sign. Well, maybe 3-year deal. So it'd be 7th season, 8th, 9th season. Then it'd be kind of hard for him to go into a 10th season. Let's get another big 4 or 5 year deal. This is probably it for him, right? Although the one thing is that, you figure is that, just what you're hearing, right? Is, just once again, the stuff I'm hearing could be off, obviously wrong, but you're hearing he might get 15, maybe 20 million, maybe guaranteed, maybe in 3 years. It's 14 to 20, I've been hearing, right? Well, if you got franchise tag, it's for one season, he'd be guaranteed $12 million. That's not that's not bad. And once again, as I said, he got franchise tag last season, wasn't happy about it, but he was guaranteed $10 million, right? So he made for one season $10 million. Okay, if you're bummed out about that, you can throw some of the money my way. I'm more than happy to take it. So it's, as I said, the thing is that once the football career is over, the possibility of making money continues. It's not like, nope. Once your football career is over with, sorry, baby, you're on minimum wage. You're only going to make $7.25 an hour for the rest of it. Yeah, sorry. That's what. No. So, and a lot of these guys make more money after their professional career is over than they were when they were making. So it's, some of these guys, obviously doing commercials and stuff like that after their careers are over with and stuff like that. So some of these guys are making a lot of money after football's over with. So, obviously you want to get as much money as you can, but there's still money to be made once your football career is over with. Hard to believe. But, unfortunately, I guess, once again, as I said, does that mean the Giants aren't going to at least try to maybe bring them back? Possible, but, no tags or nothing like that. So I guess they're let them test the market. So it'll be interesting to see where they go or what offers are given to them, and see if the Giants want to try to match that at all. Because like with Saquon, honestly, right? I'm sure he would like to be a Giant. So if somebody offers him whatever, just make it simple. 3 years, 30 million, 20 million guaranteed. Do the Giants want to, or, if they pick the phone, hey, Saquon, we'll offer you that. 3 years, 30, 20 million guaranteed. You want to come back here? That's a possibility, right? It seems like with McKinney, it's kind of like, he's just where whoever gives him the most money, that's where he's going to go. So, all right, what do we got here? So Saquon, not placing a franchise tag on Saquon in a potential end of an era. Saquon Barkley's time with the Giants is one step closer to reaching the end. Giants are not going to franchise tag Barkley by Tuesday, February 4th, Tuesday at 4 p.m., according to a source. But free agency would not necessarily mark the end of a 6-year union because the two sides could still come back together next week if Barkley doesn't get the type of free agent offer that he is seeking, or if the Giants decide to beat his best offer after exploring lesser options at running back. Barkley was angry when the Giants tagged him last, I only gave me $10 million last year. I really don't feel sorry for these guys. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, he made $10 million last year. I'm not that bummed out for the guy. So, let's see. The 27-year-old two-time Pro Bowler would have been angrier at another $12.1 million guaranteed. And I really couldn't care less if he was mad. You're getting $12.1 million guaranteed. Yeah. Once again, I don't. Because he sees his offseason as his last chance to cash in on a multi-year contract. Well, the thing is, if he got franchised, he would make $12.1 million this season. Then that doesn't mean next season he's going to make minimum wage. No, it doesn't mean the next season after that he's making minimum wage. No, it would mean this season he's getting $12.1 million guaranteed. Right, guaranteed. That's the guaranteed money. That's what he's wanting, right? So you'll take $12 million guaranteed. You're not getting $12 million guaranteed this season from anybody. Nobody's giving you $12 million guaranteed. He might wind up with $12 million this year if he signs like a signing bonus or something like that. But nobody's guaranteeing him $12 million this season per se in his contract, right? So if you were to get franchise tag, he make $12 million this season guaranteed, and then next season he can maybe get another obviously smaller deal, but he would still get some guaranteed money in there as well, too. So, I mean, you look at it like, say he signs a 3-year deal for 30, right, with $20 million guaranteed. Now, he could make up to 30, though, right? But 20 would be guaranteed. So what's the difference if he makes $12 million guaranteed this year? The next season, he signs a 6-year, $6 million with $4 million guaranteed. The next season after that, a 6 with a 4 guaranteed. So then you got 12, 4, and 4. Next time I checked, that equals 20, right? So I'm not. What's the difference between 12, 4, and 4 equaling 20, or a 3-year deal equaling 20 million? I'm not exactly sure what I really don't know. But General Manager Joe Schoen was floating the tag possibility as leverage last week at the NFL Combine, but it's not believed that an offer was made by either side during the front office meeting with Ed Berry in Indianapolis. It seems the understanding was to let Barkley test the market and find out what his true value after a relatively small gap in the Giants' best offer. $23 million guaranteed could not be closed over the 69 weeks since the first offers were exchanged. So let's see. The Texans could be the biggest spenders in a crowded free agent running back class. Oh, yeah. I mean, Jacobs, Henry, Pollard, Eckler, Barkley. If not the Texans, Barkley could land with the NFC East rival Eagles or the Cowboys. And don't forget about the Padres, San Diego Padres. Don't forget about them. The Chargers. It's not even San Diego. The Los Angeles Chargers. As he prioritizes a chance at playoff runs and finally playing behind an offensive line that could allow him to pull in big numbers. Yep. Absolutely. So I'll have to wait and see. But once again, all it takes is one team. That's all it takes. One team that, with some money like the Texans. The Texans got some money to spend, right? All they got to do is pretty much blow somebody out of the water, right, with throwing some money at Saquon and something that the Giants don't want to, say they offer him whatever, $8 million guaranteed a year, right? They're the winners, right? So it is what it is. Same thing with Xavier McKinney, right? Now maybe something might happen there. They might want to bring him back, but we'll have to wait and see. Says Giants punted their primary leverage in contract talks with safety Xavier McKinney. Instead of applying the transition tag to McKinney and retaining the right to match any contract offer, he would sign with another team since once free agency opens next week. The Giants opted Tuesday against using the 1 year, $13.8 million tender as a placeholder. Negotiations between the team and agent David Mulugheta will continue over the next 6 days of an exclusive rights window, and there's still a chance he's back, a source told the Post Paul Schwartz. So, I mean, once again, because free agency hasn't started yet, right? There's still a chance. So you tell me I got a chance, huh? Giants consider placing a transition tag on McKinney, and not doing so can be viewed as a show of good faith by both sides that a deal might be able to get worked out. It's unlikely, though, that the Giants will be able to keep McKinney off the open market since he has nothing to lose by waiting until Monday to see. That's right, well, the other teams offer. And he's under a no obligation to bring his best offer back to the Giants. You know. Now, the one thing here is, you also look at, too, is that, they wouldn't be getting anything like this year as far as any comp picks, right? So, I mean, if they were go out and, to lose some of their bigger free agents like a Saquon and Xavier McKinney, especially if they sign some nice size deals and all, and if the Giants were to not sign in some big boomers, as far as their own free agents, they might get some comp picks next season in return for losing these guys, right? It is what, or maybe Isaiah Simmons. If they lost Isaiah Simmons, Tyrod Taylor, Adoree Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Xavier McKinney, lose those guys, right? Might get some comp picks, but that's not going to help the Giants this year. Going to help them next year. And the only one thing is that, like with McKinney, I mean, I think he would do really good in the defense the Giants are going to have, right? It's just a shame because, I mean, obviously, the thing I hate is you can't keep everybody. That's one thing I hate about today's NFL. Can't stand that. But, I mean, the one thing that I do hate is also, Shane and Dable didn't draft him, right? He came with Kmart when they came. But, I mean, once again, another very talented player. Played every snap last season for the Giants. Had a very good season. And, they're going to just probably pretty much let him go. I mean, once again, I said you can't sign everybody. I mean, they did sign, Sexy Dexy last season to a nice contract. They signed Daniel Jones to a nice contract. They got Andrew Thomas. They signed him, right? Let's not forget, we also, in the future, we're going to have, what's Kayvon going to want? He's going to want to get paid. I'm sure the Giants, I mean, especially if Shane and Dable are still here, right? Kayvon's going to want to get paid. And if, he keeps doing what he's doing, I'm sure the Giants are going to, if Shane and Dable are here, I'm sure they're going to want to keep him on the team. He's going to be expensive. So, a lot of this stuff is not so much like, like right now, but you got to look down the future. What are the contracts going to be coming up down the future? Now, the thing is, you could also say, Kayvon, and then, of course, he was pick 5, and of course, pick 7 was Evan Neal. But with Evan Neal, he's been doing a little struggling there. I mean, so he's not going to be, even if he's still with the Giants after, for a second contract. As of right now, he's not due to make $20 to $25 million a season. That's not. Ain't nobody paying him. I mean, don't matter. Ain't nobody blowing him Evan Neal out of the water. Well, I'll give you $25 million a year. That's not happening. Not the way he's been performing. Well, not the way he can't stay healthy, and not the way he's been performing. Now, of course, if he starts turning things around, that's a possibility. So, but this is a huge season for him, really huge season now, and we don't even know what the Giants, especially with Carmen Basile, what they're thinking about as far as is he the right tackle? Now, the one thing with Carmen Basile, he likes versatility. He likes guys playing multiple positions. Now, I'd be just stuff you hear is I'd be rather shocked if Evan Neal isn't at least tried at guard. He wants versatility. He needs flexibility, versatility, however you want to look at it. Right now, maybe they won't put him at center, but I'd be shocked if they don't try to at least slide him into guard and get him some reps in the guard. Right, because that's the way Basile likes things. He's probably going to leave Andrew Thomas on his own island over there. But as I said, that's stuff you got to think about too. Especially, that's especially when you have 2 first-round picks. Obviously you would kind of like to have. With Kayvon, we were out of the park on that one. I think with Evan Neal, I think we kind of hit maybe a single with him. So we really didn't hit that out of the park. But usually if you have pick 5 and pick 7, like the Bears did in the 1965 draft with pick 3 and pick 4, they took Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers. That's kind of that. Well, that's not hitting. That's like 2 back-to-back grand slams right there. But in today's day and age, if you knock it out of the park with a pick 5 and a pick 7, you're looking at especially if you're talking a tackle and an edge rusher. Holy crap! By the time their contracts are due, you're probably gonna have to pay them $50 to $60 million a season between the 2 of them. Oh yeah, so so you might get 2 studs between the tackle and an edge rusher, but when it comes time to fork up some dough Ray me, you're looking at easily, $50 to $60 million between the 2. But Kayvon's going to, the way he's been going, he's going to want to get paid. And obviously, Evan Neal's going to want to get paid too. But, the way it's been going right now, Evan Neal is not in for a huge payday. He's got to worry about just keeping his job, pretty much. Yeah. But unfortunately for Xavier, his time might be coming to an end here. There is no draft pick compensation attached to the seldom used transition tag, unlike the franchise tag. Reality is that it could have limited demand for McKinney because other suitors might have been reluctant to do the Giants' negotiation dirty work for them. So the 5-day period the Giants would have had to match an offer also meant a new team would have been stuck in a limbo while their plan B options came off the board. The thought around the league was that there would be a wide gap between the valuations that the Giants had for McKinney and that McKinney had for himself, which is an ideal circumstance for the transition tag. The Patriots transition tag was with Duger, and the Buccaneers franchise tagged Antoine Winfield as a part of Tuesday's thinning of the safety market. Let's see here. Landon Collins from the Giants went to the Washington on a record-setting contract in 2019 and subsequently has negotiated 3 of the current 8 biggest contracts for safeties, all ranging between $14.7 and $19 million. That's the Mugatti, whatever. I think that's the guy who's doing the negotiations, I think, for McKinney. So basically, it seems like any contract he's gotten for his safeties is basically between 14.7 and 19.1 million. So you can figure at that rate, you figure McKinney's probably going to get at least $15 million, quite possibly. And I said, all it takes is one team. It is curious practice for the Giants to risk losing a 24-year-old. He's only 24 years old, right? 2-time captain who played every defensive snap last season, especially given how new defensive coordinator Shane Bowen's scheme features versatile safeties. Yeah, I really think he would have thrived and survived in Bowen's new system. And you figure, if he didn't have that freakish accident the year before, of course, during the bye week, only the Giants players get injured in the bye week when there's nothing going on. Yeah. But, he would have played almost every snap that year as well, too. So we'll still have to wait and see. It doesn't mean, I hate to lose McKinney. I hate to lose Saquon too, but I hate to lose McKinney because I think, once again, because you got guys that means you got really good. I mean, Pinnock's okay. That means, hopefully maybe they'll bring Javarius Owens along, maybe Dane Belton. Maybe they like him. Maybe the Giants might even draft somebody in the third round or so. Maybe, but the thing is with McKinney there, right? Then you got guys that like I say like four positions or all four levels or whatever you want to call it, right? Five. You got Sexy Dexy, the interior defensive line, right? Then you got Kayvon, right? Then you got Okereke, interior inside linebacker position. Then you got Banks, and you have McKinney. So you got one guy at each position who's a cornerstone guy, somebody you really can build with, right? So that's five. Like I said, then you got Pinnock, right? You can work with maybe McKinney and Pinnock, right? McFadden, he had his ups and downs, but he had some good games too. And hopefully maybe this season he maybe takes a little step forward as well too, especially if he's working with the Okereke, right? So, you're only a couple of guys away. Flott in the slot. Aha! See what I did there? But, okay. But, maybe you need a cornerback, right? You can use another edge rusher. You need somebody next to Sexy Dexy, but if you keep McKinney, you only need a few guys. Maybe pick up another one guy or so in the draft, right? Maybe you're down to, not that you can't go out and get a free agent to do a decent job, but you got a nice core guys there. And it's a shame just to let them go. I said the defense wasn't a top 5 defense and all that, but wasn't that horrible. You also, once again, it's a theory of relativity. Everything's relative. When you have no offense, where's your defense? On the field 95% of the time. When your offense runs on the field, 1, 2, 3, punt, then your defense runs back on the field. Right? Defense does what it does. They go off the field. Your offense runs on the field, 1, 2, 3, punt, right? And then you run. If you actually had an offense that can actually score some points and run the ball and keep the clock moving and all that, where's your defense at? On the sideline drinking Kool-Aid. And the points per game go down, the yards per game they give up go down, all this stuff goes down. Why? Because they're on the sideline. They're not giving up any stats. They're not giving up any points. Why? Because they're on the sideline drinking Kool-Aid. Why? Because you got a good offense on the field, chewing up yards and churning up the clock and all that, right? But I said, when you have no offense, right, your defense is on the field all the time, right? So, but as I said, we still have some time, but things are looking a little bleak, unfortunately. All right. Then there's one guy here. The guy is, I don't know who some of these guys are. It says the Ringer isn't sold on what Joe Shane's combine statements. Is he misleading us? Very interesting. So there's one guy seems to think that says tis the season for deceiving in the NFL as general managers and head coaches begin the annual process of blowing smoke up our rear ends around to hide their intentions ahead of the free agency and the draft, which is true too. Shane's not, ain't nobody coming out, talking about Daniel Jones and that guy, he blows. Yeah, he's out of here, baby. We're eyeing up quarterback in the first round. Seriously, if the first 2 picks, quarterback, bam, we're calling the Patriots. We're offering this, and this. We're getting a 3rd pick. We're taking a quarterback. That's what we're doing. Ain't nobody saying that. Nobody's saying that. So it's all, of course it is. It's all smoke and mirrors and all, misleading and everything. So. But if one uses careful and deductive reasoning, not even the craftiest wordsmithing general manager can hide his true intentions. So claims Deanie. I don't even. Heffitz? No idea. There's 1,852 trillion people out there. I'm one of them too. Who have their own their football stuff. But so Danny Heffitz of the Ringer. whoever that is, who tried to read into what Schoen was saying when he spoke to reporters at the Combine last week. Let's see. For example, when Schoen said, "I have faith in Daniel Jones as our starting quarterback," Heifetz interpreted that statement to be, "I have less faith in Daniel Jones as our starting cornerback than I did 11 months ago when I gave him $82 million. We're not sure what anyone was expecting Schoen to say in that instance, but for what it's worth, the fact that the Giants put an escape hatch in Jones' contract, which they can use after this year, if they want the cap savings, would suggest that the team may have been squeamish about Jones's well-documented injury history, which later, laying dormant in 2022, popped up again when the quarterback suffered his second neck injury in 3 years and tore his ACL. When he did play, Jones never really looked comfortable behind center, putting together really just 2 solid quarters of football, the third and fourth quarter against the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see, Heifetz or whatever his name is, also took aim at Schoen's statement about running back Saquon Barkley, with whom the Giants have begun contract negotiations. The general manager said, "I think we've all grown, Saquon, myself, and the organization through the last 12, 13, and 14 months. Saquon may be in a different place now than he was then in terms of understanding the market and the business side of it. I'm looking forward to having those conversations with him." So Heifetz, however, took Schoen's words to mean lots of laugh. We aren't paying Saquon. Well, I guess so. I guess he's letting him hit the free agent market. I guess not. With the Giants deciding not to franchise tag Barkley, that interpretation sure would seem to be the case. Schoen might have meant that both parties have come to view the valuation of the running back in a different light. Barkley, who was on the Money Matters podcast before training camp last season, revealed that he and the Giants viewed his value much differently. He turned down an extension before the end of this 2022 season, reportedly worth a $13 million a year deal. I don't know what he thought he was worth. But he also reportedly turned down an increased offer that could have topped $14 million per year before finally adding Ed Berry of CAA to his negotiation team just before last year's July 15th deadline to get a long-term deal. Barkley just turned 27 and still has juice left in the tank. However, the Giants need to decide if it's worth tying up money in him over the next 2 years, given his injury history, and if they think he can help them go on a deep postseason quest. Ultimately, it's not what Schoen said or didn't say, but rather what he does that will tell the story about what he thinks. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's, obviously actions speak louder than words. So, I mean, they tried to offer Saquon, I guess, some decent, but I mean, it's just, I'm an old time for it. I do apologize. The more, unfortunately, as time goes by, in the NFL and life and all that and everything as we go, because everything just keeps going up and up, salaries and everything. Unfortunately, the more it's about the money, the more I despise it. I can't stand it. And unfortunately, because it's going to keep getting, as time goes by, more and more about the money, because the salaries are going to just keep going up and up and up. They're never going to come down. It's unfortunately going to be more. It's like guys not wanting to play in the bowl game because I might get it. It's, say 20 years from now, 10 years from now, right? You got starting quarterbacks who will be making $100 million a year, right? Somebody, I don't know, 10 years or so from now. Is that fair? 10, 15 at the most. Top quarterback will be making $100 million a year. Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if guys just skip their senior season altogether. I don't want to get injured. Okay. I want to be a number one pick or whatever like that. And I'm going, Well, why are they skipping their season? They're saying, well, because it's all about that. Right. Now they are making money. College players are making money, so so that's good for them. But when as I said, Christ, what 50 years from now, guys will be making what? I don't know, $250 million a season. 4-year deal, $1 billion guaranteed. I mean, really. I mean, seriously. Hey, are the guys even going to want to play a snap in college? Nah, man. I played 2 downs in 8th grade football, completed both passes. They were for touchdown. I'm dropping the mic, baby. I'm holding out until after my college is over. I'm going to get my college degree. Then I'll get drafted because I completed 2 passes. I'm going to stay injury free because I want that $250 million. I mean, guys don't want to weigh in at the draft or the combine. They don't want to run this. They don't want to do that and all that. I do apologize about being an old fart. All right, let's see what we got here. What could the Giants get? They traded back. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Most of the talk centered around the New York Giants this offseason regarding their draft plans, which have been about staying put or trading up, quite possibly. There have been numerous scenarios of them selecting one of the class top quarterbacks, whether in a trade-up or miraculously falling. Others have had them stay at the 6th pick and select one of the top wideouts, get themselves a freaking dog of a wide receiver. Absolutely. Whether it's Neighbors or Odunze. Whatever the Giants decide to do in April is probably still being worked out. But General Manager Joe Schoen is certainly testing the waters regarding a potential trade out of the 6th spot. Well, of course, you have to be prepared for everything. What could we get if we go trade out? Where do we go? We trade up. What do we get if we stay put? Now, they can almost guarantee they know pretty much what they're going to get. There's 6 players there. There's 3 quarterbacks and 3 wide receivers, unless they're talking about maybe going offensive linemen, unless they want to go Brock Bowers, right? I can't say they know for sure they would get Brock Bowers because you'd have to think that maybe the Chargers might be a little bit of a wild card there. Let's see, what do they have? Let me see here. The Chargers draft needs. According to NFL.com, one of the draft needs the Chargers need is a tight end. So maybe they might go. The thing is with Bowers, okay, is that you're not getting a tight end who's going to be doing much blocking, right? You're going to get a dynamic tight end, right? Off the ball, but he's only like 6'2" or so, maybe 240. He's not real tall. He's not real huge in size. You're not going to get a lot of blocking out of him and everything like that. So, I mean, I know that they want to start, just the way they've tried to do in the past, right, is definitely want to run the ball. So the only thing I can think maybe with Harbaugh, right, is that maybe he might want to maybe try to draft if he doesn't go for a wide receiver, okay, he might want to go for maybe one of those offensive linemen because Harbaugh usually likes to try to run the ball. Maybe he likes to run and maybe set up the pass, okay. Now, obviously, if he can get himself a star wide receiver, that's going to really help Herbert out a lot. But I know, that sometimes it's hard for a leper or whatever to change their spots. Harbaugh likes to run the ball, okay? So for him to maybe get an offensive lineman to help him out running the ball could be huge, right? So he may not take a wide receiver, but at least with the Giants, there's a good chance that you're going to get one of those 3 wide receivers going to be there for you, unless for some reason one of those quarterbacks fall to you. Right, so you got a real good idea, possibilities of either get maybe Neighbors or Odunze. Probably one of those offensive linemen will be there for you, unless by miraculously somehow, if you stay put at 6, if somehow May or Daniels falls to you at 6. So I'll have to wait and see. However, that doesn't necessarily mean only trading for a higher pick, as the Giants could potentially trade down and acquire more capital. They currently have 7 total picks, including 4 in the top 100 and 5 in the top, I think 108. 108. 107 and 108 is their would be their 5th pick. So I mean, they got in the fourth round. So I mean, they got some. You got 5 guys in the top 107 or 108. That's not bad. They nail those picks. The Giants are set for a solid draft, but could they generate even more of a haul? Very interesting. Alex Ballantyne of Bleacher Report believes they can not only add it to their current haul, but potentially add an extra first-round pick for the 2025 draft. What kind of package would take that? Ballantyne suggests something similar to what the Eagles got from the Miami Dolphins in 2021 when they received the 12th pick, the 123rd pick, and the 2022 first-round pick in exchange for the 6th overall pick and the 156th pick. So that means if the Giants were to go back, say, to number 12, because there were some quarterback-needy teams there, right? One of those teams jumps up, right? Either maybe the Raiders, the Vikings, the Broncos, one of those teams jumps up, right? The Giants might be able to acquire another first-round pick the next season. Giants could keep a first rounder this year while also storing away a future first in draft while they might be looking for a quarterback if Daniel Jones doesn't perform. A trade down that hasn't been discussed as much as an option for the Giants this draft, but it should be a viable choice on the table if the top quarterbacks are off the board and if there is no receiver that Shane feels would be the right fit. So, I mean, say if he thinks Harrison and Odunze, those are the guys. Neighbors, not too crazy about him. So if we're stuck with Neighbors, I might want some phone calls. Maybe I'll pick the phone up and maybe we can trade back. So who knows? Well, some might point out that one of either the top 3 quarterbacks, Williams, Daniels, or May, or the top 3 receivers, Morrison, Harrison Jr., Odunze, or Neighbors, will be there at number 6. There is based on the assumption that the Giants have the highest grades on all those players. That's true too. I mean, just because everybody else is saying, well, I mean, my God, I mean, Neighbors, Odunze, and Harrison. I mean, those are the 3 top wide receivers. They're top 6, 7 pick without no question. Well, it doesn't mean that's what Shane has on him, right? Shane could have some kind of, character issue or concern over Neighbors or Odunze or whatever, and that might knock him out. Possibly. We don't know. Right? We don't know. Shane has shown he's not afraid to move around the board, as he's traded 4 times in 2 drafts as general manager. Trading down wouldn't only gain the Giants more potential capital for this year, still adding another first-round pick next year would also be ideal, as Ballantyne highlighted in his predicted trade package. So what could the Giants get in a trade down? Ballantyne predicted a 2024 first-round pick for if they would go back from picks 10 to 15, the Giants would get a first-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and another first-round pick. So the Giants would go back from, say, 6 to 10 or 6 to 11 or 6 to 12. They would pick up 2 firsts and a 4th. I think they'd get even maybe a little more than that, but we'll see. I mean, especially if they're going from 6 back to 15, and they're only going to get they're going to swap 6 and 15, and they're going to get 1 extra first-round pick. I think they get a little more than that. Netting a 2025 first-rounder would be great for the Giants' future. How would it impact this draft? Moving from 6 to the teens would change greatly, as they could open the doors for other needs. Oh, hold on. I got to move my buddy Randy. All right, buddy. Come on in. All right, Randy's here. All right, we can continue. But as a word of caution, Shane shouldn't automatically trade down just because. The move has to make sense. And if it's going to cost the Giants a potential difference maker, they might as well stay put where they are. And that's one thing the Giants need. The Giants need difference makers. They need guys, they need, once again, difference makers. You draft a number 1 wide receiver, that's a difference maker. I mean, maybe if they take Alt, of course, Alt's going to have to become the right tackle, but, difference maker. I mean, if somehow May falls to the Giants at 6, he can be a difference maker. Why? Because maybe if they think he can they can work their magic with him, and he can become the future quarterback. That's a difference maker, right? And then also the other thing is I pointed out the other time, and this has been pointed out, trillions of other times too. Just because you're getting the other team's first round pick next season, right? Say the team or whatever, say the Giants trade back to 15. So this team is 15. They're right in the middle of the pack. Okay. Well, they jump up and they take a wide receiver, a dog, right? Now you add that to their offense. Well, now they might start scoring some more points. So instead of that record being 8-9, 9-8, whatever, because they're in the middle of the pack, they're about a 500 team. They get this dog of a wide receiver. Maybe they add a couple guys in free agency, and all of a sudden, instead of being 8-9, I don't know, they go 11-6. Well, now if they're 11-6, well, now their draft pick that you just got for the 2025, now it's in the 20s. Now you might be their first round pick might be number 25. So for you to give up pick 6 for say their 15th pick this season and pick 25 next season, I don't know, is that worth it? And what they were saying, maybe a 4th round pick? No, I don't know about that, because you're giving up a straight up difference maker at pick 6, and it's, I can see accumulating picks. I get that and all, but I said something, the Giants need different, you go to some of these teams, you look at it, it's like, man, how they get all these good players? And then you look at the Giants, it's like, where's the beef? You know what I mean? So the Giants, so you got to be careful sometimes about, the only thing is, if you especially if you only get like, one first round pick or something like that, it's, kind of like buyer beware. If you're trading back from 6 to 15 and they're going to give you pick 15, they're going to give you, another first round pick and 2 second round picks or something like that. Okay. You know what I mean? But, so you got to also, you have to factor that in as well too. So, but the Giants, even if they go back to 15, you're going to get a good ball player. You should be able to get a starter in the first round. Even if and then the pick they get for the following season, say pick 25, well, you should still get a really good player at pick 25. Right? So, once again, we'll find out when the draft rolls around. All right. Now, of course, then you got here the Giants reportedly are eyeing a top wide receiver prospect. And, of course, then you got Sean O'Hara says Giants won't pass on wide receiver Rome Odunze. Now I said, you got one thing you got to love is, is when he was doing it. There was the 3-cone drill. Is that the 3-cone drill I think he was trying to do? Yeah, the 3-cone drill. He was trying to break 6.6 seconds. And, the thing is, the thing you got to like about him is you got all these other guys. Ooh, I'm not doing that. I might get injured. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Oh, I don't want to weigh myself. I might weigh too much. Or I don't want to I might weigh too little. I don't want to throw balls. I may not look good. It's like, it's called adversity, jackwagon. What happens when as I said this is my other bit. What happens when you've been sacked 15 times in a row? You've just thrown 5 interceptions. 3 of them got run back for a touchdown. You're down 27-3 halfway through the third quarter. What are you going to do? Ooh, I don't want to play anymore. No, you jackwagon. It's called adversity, right? So you got the combine. So, okay, you're not throwing to your own ball players. Ooh, it's called adversity. Make the best of it. You ugh. Some of these guys, I don't want to run. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to, I can't stand that stuff. You got to come, now you got guys coming to the combine. They're all, they only do a couple things. Yeah. And the other thing that kind of ticks you off is because there's only so many guys that can come, to the combine. If you got some of these jackwagons that don't want to come there and they only want to do like 1 or 2 things. It's like, what, dude, just get the out of here. We're going to bring somebody here who wants to play some football. Okay, who wants to show off what they can do. All right, those are the guys that come here. All right, don't tell us what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. If you're not going to come here and participate, get the out of here. All right, go play badminton or something like that. Get the out of here, you jackwagon. But anyways, I said the one thing you like about with the Odunze, right, is that this the 3-cone drill. He's like, man, I got to do better than 6'6". So he's standing out there. Right? I don't know how many times he did it. I don't even know. I don't think he broke it, but he just kept trying. He kept hitting that far cone. I think because he was trying to go around, and apparently he was hitting. I'm not sure if he was knocking it over. I'm not exactly sure what the rules are. If you hit it, that disqualifies you, or if you got to knock it over to disqualify, or whatever it was. But he wasn't having none of that. He was like, man, I'm getting better than 6'6". You know what I mean? You got to love guys like that, right? I ain't going nowhere, guys. Whatever you want to do, you want to get your seats out there, start a bonfire, start popping some popcorn because we're here all night, baby, until I break 60. You gotta like that. You gotta like that, right? And I'm sure that caught the eye of darn near probably 32 out of 32 general managers, right? Quarterback. The New York Giants are taking one at number 6 or higher in the NFL draft, right? No, not necessarily, unless they aren't. Former Giant and current NFL Network analyst Shaun O'Hara has other ideas. O'Hara thinks the Giants won't pass on wide receiver Rome Odunze if he is there for them in the first round. Now that's the thing, is that's you're not quite sure. Now Harrison's going. I would be shocked if Harrison doesn't go. I mean, unless the Cardinals. I mean, they might have neighbors ahead of Harrison. Who knows? But you can almost pencil in that they're going to take one of the guys, right? Quite possibly Harrison. So then the kind of the wild card where you're not quite sure of is what are the Chargers going to do at 5, right? So if they take a wide receiver, they might take a Odunze, and the neighbors might be left for the Giants. I'll have to wait and see, obviously. Let's see. I know the Giants are drooling over this guy, O'Hara said. If he's there at 6, I don't see any way they pass on him. O'Hara thinks Odunze might be wide receiver 1 in the draft class. Okay. That's what the Giants need. He may have leapfrogged Marvin Harrison with what Rome Odunze did in the drills. In all the testing, the jumps, the running, I thought he was phenomenal, O'Hara said. I think he showed that he is just as smooth as any other receiver out there. O'Hara, of course, pointed to Odunze staying on the field long after needed to, trying to run the 3-cone drill to his satisfaction. I'll tell you, wherever he goes, if he goes to the Giants or wherever he goes, you got to give thumbs up to that freaking guy. So that's the kind of football player you want on your team. Now, of course, once again, that's not a team. I'm doing this for the team, coach. I'm doing. Of course, it's not for the team, but when do you see somebody else saying, no, we're doing this again. I'm not feeling that. I don't like that. I'm getting. We're going to get better. I'm staying out here until I run this 3-cone drill to my satisfaction. Right? You don't see that, right? Usually somebody runs and it's like, well, I don't want to get injured, right? So let me get out of here, right? But So why not Rome Odunze lingered on the Lucas Oil Field late Friday, long after the stadium had emptied out, trying to break the 6.6 seconds in the 3-cone drill. I said, I thought he was really cool moment showing his perseverance. He was not going to leave the field until he posted a good time on that, something he was comfortable with, O'Hara said. The combine is all about showcasing your skills, showcasing your competitive attitude. Rome Odunze did that. He basically raised the barometer for everybody else. And Ed Valentine, his view. I don't know about leapfrogging Harrison. I do know that while I wouldn't take either of Malik Neighbors or Odunze, my clear preference is Odunze. We can argue about the skills. Neighbors and Odunze are different receivers. They are. But both are tremendously skilled. Yes, they are. I happen to prefer Odunze's size. It's hard to argue with somebody tall. Hard to argue with that, right? Because somebody's small, you can't make them large. Maybe they can play large or whatever, but it's hard to get a 5'11", whatever, wide receiver to act like somebody who's 6'3" or 6'4". It's tough, very tough. Odunze's contested catch ability and his consistent route running to flash and his explosiveness, but occasional inconsistency of neighbors. The big thing for me, though, is the altitude. Odunze wants to be a Hall of Famer and is showcasing traits beyond physical skills that are necessary if he will have a chance to achieve that goal. NFL players are incredibly talented, even the bottom of the roster ones. Absolutely. If you're on an NFL roster, you're a heck of an athlete. Absolutely. Whether you're a third stringer, whatever, you are a heck of an athlete. You just don't walk onto an NFL team if you're not, there's no Sonny Jurgensons out there anymore. Guys walking around with beer guts and stuff like that. It is quite often the want to, the desire, the willingness to do more than is required that separates as a player. Odunze showed those things at the combine. I'm drawn to that because that is a player who will leave no stone unturned to become the best player he can possibly be. So, once again, you got to keep that kind. What he was doing at the combine is not a team. He's not staying on the field for the team. He's staying on the field for him. But it shows, once again, he was pointing out there, if he wants to be, he's talking, I want to be a Hall of Famer, right? So he's going to do what he has to do to become the best he can possibly be. And if that means staying on the frickin' field, running the 3-cone drill 10 times to try to break a certain, that's what he's going to do. If he's going to stay after practice, run some extra routes, that's what he's going to do. We're running routes. I'm going to run 50 patterns every day after practice is over with, right? Me and you on the field, whatever, right? That's what he has to do. That's what he's going to do. So, you got to be very, very impressed with that. But I'll tell you what, just what I'm hearing anyway is that, if they want to take him to Odunze, hard to go wrong with that. He seems like he's a special talent, especially with the size and all that. You see his determination. And, I said the Giants can finally check off the list that they no longer need a number one wide receiver. That makes me so happy. Once again, that, what was it, like 800 years in a row? Giants need a left tackle. Giants need, even after they drafted Eric Flowers, 2 days after they drafted Eric, he sucks. They need the left tackle. Then they get Nate Solder, and after 2 days after that, he sucks. The Giants still need a left tackle. Giants need a number one wide receiver. Well, can we check that off the list, right? The Giants have a lot of other needs, but can we check wide receiver? I said, because, hey, look what Shane's doing. Each year, it's be his third draft, right? 2 years ago was Wan'Dale Robinson, so we got the guy in the slot. We still got Slayton, right? But what did they do last year? And 2 years ago, right? They got Wan'Dale Robinson, they got Bellinger. Bellinger needs to get a little bit better. He's got good hands, right? He's a good, a nice target. Good hands, nice time, but he's got to do. He definitely, whatever reason, it seemed like he took a step back last season as far as blocking. He's got to get better with the blocking. He's got definitely, but he's somebody nice. Even if he winds up being your third tight end, okay, he's a nice option, right? I said we got him, right? Even as I said, he should be some good quality depth for you, right? But we got Wan'Dale Robinson last year. What did they do? They brought in Hyatt. This year, if you bring in Odunze, right? So in 3 seasons, right, they brought in a tight end, they got a slot receiver, they got 2 wide receivers. Next season, maybe they can add another tight end or whatever. So each year they're adding little pieces to the puzzle, right? Of course, they need to figure out the quarterback situation. They got to figure out what they're doing with the running back and what they're going to do with Evan Neal. But, I'm saying, but you can see each year they're adding little pieces to the puzzle, right? And as I said, it's a building process. The Giants ain't going to the Super Bowl this season. All right, I said, hopefully if they have a good draft, good free agency, right, this season, if things go well and they can stay relatively healthy. And then I said next season, get another good draft, and they should have some money to spend next season, right? Maybe they can bring in another nice wide free agent or so to add to the roster, right? Next year maybe they're not, after next season, 2025, maybe they start knocking on maybe the NFC East door, winning the crown. So, as I said, they're not winning the Super Bowl this season, right? But you do definitely want to see improvement. Let's see, get the guys in here, right? Whatever the free agents and whoever the guys draft, the draft picks, and let's get some improvement. Maybe we can get back over 500 once again, and said then maybe 2025 we can take it to the next level. All right, guys, been 1 hour and 5 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh yeah.